Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to tell you a bit about what a tech pack is. A tech pack is more or less like a blueprint for your design. It explains how the factory can develop your design from your drawings, from your ideas. A tech pack is everything you need to tell the supplier so he's able to develop your design just the way you want it. It includes drawings, technical sheets, measurements, print files, label design, everything that a supplier would need to know to make your idea into a product. Usually they are built up by different things. I would say you can narrow it down to around 6 items. So I will go through those 6 items and tell you why you need to develop those and explain to the supplier how to approach each of them. The first thing, and what I think is the most important for a tech pack, or the information you have to give to your supplier, is a drawing. I'm not saying that you should do the most amazing drawing in Illustrator or Photoshop. You can do by a hand drawing or a very good description with small pictures or something. It doesn't have to be super advanced, and don't give up because you're not an expert in Illustrator. But a drawing is very nice, and the best is if you can draw each style in the correct color. So the supplier has an idea about what is your collection about, how many styles do we have, and how many products are there in each line. Another important thing to include in your tech pack are the measurements. Of course, the supplier would need to know what kind of measurements, how big is your style, how wide is it. They need to know something so they can develop the style for you. I'm not saying that you need to be a designer and know all the measurements in a product. With most suppliers, you can give them the basic measurements, the width, the length, and they will be able to do something very close to what you want. Then you can, after that, once you get a proto, you can make small changes. There are also some suppliers, I would say very good suppliers, they have like a template of styles or a base of styles that you can use. So if you ask them, do you have a basic t-shirt? Then they probably have a t-shirt that you can use, and you can do changes on that one. But it's just to say that just because you don't know anything about measurements, don't give up, because there's many good things and many good ways to approach it if you find a good factory. The third thing that you need to put in a tech pack are some kind of description about the fabric. I would say in most cases the best thing is if you find a piece of fabric somewhere, cut it and send it to the supplier. You can also, if you know a lot about fabrics, describe the weight of the fabric, the composition of the fabric. But if you don't know that much about fabric, find a nice fabric and send to the supplier, and they can find something similar to that. That's the easiest way to do it. Another important thing to include in the tech pack are the trim. Trim design is the thing that makes your product your product. It can be the neck label, it can be a hang tag, it can be labels that are outside the product, visible things that will make your product unique. It could be this label, for example, with the brand name. So you would need in the tech pack to include the designs for all these small items. These items that the supplier needs to put on your product to make it your product. The fifth thing you need to put in a tech pack are grading. The grading of the sizes you would have to produce. Usually you start out doing, let's say, a medium for men or a small for women in samples. But once you go to production, the supplier would need to know all the measurements for the other sizes. So the measurements for a large or an extra large. Most people ask us, how do I do that? I don't know how much it changes between the sizes. Well, most suppliers, or at least the good ones, they know exactly how to grade things. So unless you have a specific thing that you want your products to be very large, once you hit a couple of sizes up, unless you have things like that, make them grade the things for you, and they will do the standard thing. I would say standard things are things like between each size, the difference is 2 centimeters in body length. So from a large to an extra large, the thing goes 2 centimeters longer. The same in the width, it's also 2 centimeters. So you jump 2 centimeters in body length or width between each size. That would be the standard, but your manufacturer would know that. So ask them to do the grading for you. The last thing to include in your tech pack are things like your prints or your embroideries. Things that are supposed to be outside your products, or prints can be inside, but at least the print files or embroidery files that the supplier would need to open a print frame and print the thing on your t-shirt. So tell them what the print should look like, send them a high resolution file, tell them how big the print should be, tell them the colors of the print, and things like that. You also need to tell them the type of print or the type of embroidery. There are many different types of embroideries or prints, but that I can come back to in another video. These are the things that I would suggest you include in a tech pack. But what is a tech pack? It's not like it's a specific box where you need to put all the information into. I would just simply on my computer do a folder for each style and include the things. Measurements can be in a simple Excel sheet or Word sheet. The drawing can be hand drawn and scanned. It can be done in Illustrator. It's pretty simple and you don't need to do anything crazy. Of course, the print files, you need to talk to someone about prints because print files need to be high resolution. So you can't just do them by hand unless you want that kind of look. But you need to go to professionals to make a nice print file. For trim, I would say spend a lot of energy and maybe go to professionals as well if you're not a graphic designer, because the label in the neck or the outside labels like this, it's very important that they are nice. They are kind of the signature or the logo of your brand that everyone will recognize. So make sure it looks nice, because the nicer the trimming is, the nicer the product will be. Then I think if you're working with a good supplier, they would know how to work with different tech packs. It's not like you have to do it in a specific way. And if it's a good supplier and they are missing some of these things, they would ask you right away and say, oh, you forgot to give me the measurements, or you forgot to give me this or that. Then of course just get back to them. If they don't get back to you about anything and just accept whatever you sent them, maybe you should be a bit worried, maybe not, but at least ask them, do you have everything you need? Do you need this or that? Just be upfront with everything. And the more precise you do your tech pack, the more information you put, not too much, but the more information you put, the easier it will be for the supplier. So do a good job when you do the tech pack. Spend a few hours more than you were expecting, but then you will see your product will be nicer and there's a bigger chance that it will be perfect the first time. The first sample will be much better. I'll get into more details about tech packs and if there's anything to elaborate on the different items in the tech pack. But for now, that's it. And feel free to comment below, send us an email. That's it for now. Thank you guys.